Hi there. I use the name Trent Goodbody, and I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself to everyone. I'm a writer who has written 5 books, including these 3 highly acclaimed Freedom from Government titles. One of my other YouTube channels called Freedom from Government has over 80,000 subscribers and over 20 million views, but that channel was demonetized, and I lost my partner status for no reason. And that channel is now severely shadow banned. And when I release new videos on that channel, I get a fraction of the views that I should be getting. So I started this new channel called Partially Woke, where I can continue to bring people my brand of information and entertainment. I have been working for years to restore our right to travel, or liberty of movement unencumbered by government intrusion, as I believe that the traffic stop is one of the worst ways that government has become accustomed to stealing our hard-earned labor from us. I have been arrested on national television for standing up for my rights. I have been interviewed by major media outlets like the Fox TV News channel in Southern California. Somehow, the dinosaur media outlets like to keep everyone scared and compliant because they like to say that I disregard the law and break all the rules. But I don't do something just because someone called it a law. If a rule is unjust, I break it. I follow my own set of morality guidelines, and if a law doesn't align with what I believe is right, I disregard it. It is not the easy path, but it is the only path. Honestly, it's pretty simple. If you don't contract with the state and or DMV, then they have no legal jurisdiction. They might drag you out of your car when you don't consent to their requests or attempts to get you to self-incriminate, but then if you know your rights and assert them, they will not have standing. It's a complicated process, though. Not many have the time to spend studying, rehearsing, and memorizing everything that they need to know in these situations because we're slaves to the economy. We can't live without money. I wonder whose fault that is. That's a whole other video. Imagine if people actually started learning their rights, though. The thing is that people have not only started learning their rights, they're out there exercising them en masse. Better start scaring people away from the truth before they get too wise to it. Which brings me to the topic of today's video. I recently became aware of a hit piece trying to convince people to stay on the plantation by continuing to consent to be lorded over by the corrupt government by demonizing what I do, that was recently published in the January 2020 issue of Car and Driver magazine. Let's start the article out with the illustration of a peace officer shattering somebody's driver's side window. The traffic stop has become to be known as really the only interaction with government where you're expected to incriminate yourself by producing documents in flagrant violation of the 4th and 5th Amendments to the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution. What everyone neglects to tell you is that if you have a licensing agreement with the government, then you have agreed to follow all their ridiculous rules, and if you get caught slipping, that's where they make their revenue. The thing is that you consented to all that ridiculousness when you applied for the license. You subjected yourself to this nonsense. I don't know about you, but the police and government are not my authority. An authority is someone who is well researched and has knowledge in a particular topic. An authority is not a low IQ bully that has slapped on a shiny badge. Ooh, shiny. These low IQ bullies fail to realize that when they smash someone's car window, that is not only using violence against peaceful people, but it is also assault, battery, property damage, usually theft, and all around just wrong. The police are the ones committing felonies to extort money from the people whom they have sworn to serve over ridiculous victimless crime, which only serves to generate revenue. If you don't want to be extorted, these bullies will escalate the situation if you don't do what they say, but that is also wrong. And before you go calling me a sovereign citizen, please know that when you call someone a sovereign citizen, you're calling them double-minded, as one cannot be a sovereign who is subject to only God's law and a citizen who is subject to man's law at the same time. The only ones I know of that fit that label are those low IQ bullies who like to go around arresting and citing people for victimless crimes to inflate their bank accounts. And before you go calling me a constitutionalist, please remember that it was we the people who were trying to keep government accountable, which is why every government employee has to swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. I never swore an oath to uphold and defend that document, so if anyone should be called a constitutionalist, it should be those who swore an oath to uphold and defend it. It is too bad that so many whom have taken that oath have totally disregarded what it was supposed to mean. I challenge you to show me how the Constitution is even applicable to me. me. It is rules for government to follow, not me. Which reminds me, there's a place in Nevada along the loneliest highway, Highway 50, about 20 or so miles east of Fallon, where someone has painstakingly spelled out the entire preamble to the Constitution alongside the road in rocks, which makes me happy that someone who likely swore an oath to uphold and defend it perhaps took their oath seriously. I don't know. I just know that Fallon is a big Navy-based town and there are lots of oath takers that are constantly swarming around there. The biggest problem in this entire article is that whoever wrote this fails to realize that our rights are not gifts from government. They are endowed by our Creator. Pay close attention to the following. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. That might have sounded familiar because it's from the beginning of the Declaration of Independence, a pretty important document to the foundation of this country, if you ask me. Does it say anywhere in there that shiny badges grant authority and your rights come from some words that people wrote down in a room behind closed doors? No! It says that we are endowed by our Creator with unalienable rights, rights that can't be taken away. Then they even describe the rights that can't be taken away in 3 words, life, liberty, and happiness, which is equal to property. And the second word, liberty, is the one that I focus on. You don't have liberty if you have to walk everywhere. And if they decide that they want to tread on those rights, then we as the ones who delegated power to them have not only the right but the duty to abolish it, even if only for the sake of future generations. What's going to happen when cars drive themselves? Will the car require a license as well? It isn't like a license prevents accidents. As far as this article is concerned, it seems as though the government has placed itself in the position of God, but a terrible, tyrannical one. Our natural state of being is being denied, and so they are trampling all over our natural rights given by our Creator, and if a man doesn't know who he truly is and stand on his natural rights, they win every time. The state of California, or any other altered state of the Union, is a political venue, not a geographic location. This means that the only way that you can be a driver in this altered state of California is via a licensing agreement, which also happens to be a contract. And if you're forced to sign a ticket on the side of the road, which is actually called a summons, wouldn't that be violating your protected right against self-incrimination? Did you know that when you accept a ticket, you are unconditionally accepting their jurisdiction? Title 18 United States Code Section 1590, trafficking with respect to peonage, slavery, involuntary servitude, or forced labor, it makes it unlawful to recruit, harbor, transport, or broker persons for labor or services under conditions which violate any of the offenses contained in Chapter 77 of Title 18. Whoever knowingly recruits, harbors, transports, provides, or obtains by any means any person for labor or services in violation of this chapter shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. If death results from the violation of this section, or if the violation includes kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, the defendant shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or life or both. So if they want to traffic me, I will call out the fraud and I will shout it from the rooftops that trafficking people is not only wrong, but according to their own rules is a 20-year set. Unless you kidnap or kill them, then it's life. They can threaten me in any way that they like, but they can never bring me back into compliance through fear, intimidation, violence, or other aggression. I swear to never take licenses or permits from the treasonous, terrorist, aggravated, extortionist state of traitors ever again. I stop being their citizen resident and representing their treasonous fraud of a doppelganger slave person that they created in deception and fraud when I was born. The habitually lying servants of the father of lies and traitors to freedom can literally go F themselves with their lies, fraud, and deception. This Car and Driver article says that the U.S. Supreme Court is the only legal body that can give legal effect to the Constitution. Yeah, no crap. But as we all know, and they will never admit to us, is legal is not law. Legal is a system that is expected to be in accordance with the law. Statutes are necessary in order for the nation to function. They say we're anti-government, but there exists a certain society that also expected to be gentlemen, but have so corrupted government through fraud that researchers of law are mocked and ridiculed. If what we claim wasn't true, there would be no misunderstandings and no discussions. Case closed. Guilty. Yet here they are, and here we are, claiming our rights within the Republic of the People. Because they cannot deny our rights, they take it to the court of public opinion in an attempt to democratically condemn me as absurd. They even call upon Caesar the attorney to explain where the obvious confusion stems from. He, being of the initiated and the esquires, is a true certified expert witness. Freemasons enjoy an elevated status within our society because they are the producers of our society, which is in fact their society. It is the legal society. So naturally, they would occupy the highest office with any society named legal. They perform a service and are compensated well. Because of this, they are expected to be above suspicion, distinguished and honorable. Today, greed and the love of mammon has caused their hearts to harden. They forgot the debt they owe to the people of America who have entrusted them with their office. We expect and require that they perform properly while in their official capacity. There's a saying arrogant members of the legal society like to say, render unto Caesar which is Caesar's. Yeah, the legal system. Take it and shove it. I like this one though. Caesar should be above suspicion. He left his wife for that motto. All the corrupt public servants should at least lose their offices if they can't be above suspicion. Another thing that comes to mind off the top of my head is U.S. Code Title 28, Section 3002, Number 15A. It says that the United States is a federal corporation, and I'm pretty sure that the ones who wrote this Car and Driver article also represent a corporation. I believe that this is a quiet war for authority between the people and those who want corporations to be in control of everyone. If corporations are in control of everyone through fraudulent contracts without full disclosure, then there is no such thing as freedom anymore. America has been overthrown by fictional invaders. Will you join me in taking it back, please? A couple of other things I wanted to cover before I'm done here. One of which is the Brandon Potter, Jerry Kane false flag that they always like to bring up and associate with me, even though the guy allegedly killed cops, which is something that I will never do. I don't see why they always have to bring up this, what I call a false flag, and here's why. Roll the clip. This is supposedly a raw video of that Joe and Jerry Kane shooting where they shot Brandon Potter and the other guy. Now watch in the top corner, top right corner of the video, and in the bottom left corner of the video, the cop just appears and a white car appears down at the bottom at exactly 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Do you see that? This is not raw video. This is staged. This is the event they always bring up. You check this out. Move back and forth. One frame he's there, one frame he's not. That's how you can prove that this was edited. He just appears. He wouldn't appear in one frame. He would move into the frame over a period of frames, and he wouldn't be see-through. They ain't even a very good editor. See how he fades in? What the heck is going on here? Why is the supposed raw video edited? Also, no disrespect whatsoever at all, but there is a guy out there named Gavin Syme who at one point wanted to run for office of some sort and gained online popularity by pulling over an unmarked police car and then letting him off with a warning that really doesn't interact with me online. And I found that typically when someone borderline evades interacting with me, they throw up a big red flag that either they're only partially woke or even grander, possibly sinister motives. It sucks to have to say that. I don't want to say that. See a video on this channel called Black Propaganda for more about that. Anyway, when things got heated and Gav started to carry the target on his back, he got the heck out of the kitchen. Or country, actually. And I don't judge him for his decisions. He was trying to do the best thing for his family. And if I had a family to look after, I probably would have done the same thing. And it looks like he is always munching on some delicious-looking comida. But the thing is, he left. And I'm still here. And I have some serious work to do. There's no way that I'm going to abandon my country when it needs me the most. I'm going to stay and do anything that it takes to fight for it. I'll go to jail for it. I will stand my ground and never compromise what is right. And because of that, I will win every time. Because I'm not looking for the court to pronounce me a winner. I'm looking for eternal salvation and an opportunity to transcend my consciousness into heaven so that I don't have to be stuck here in this literal hell on earth anymore. But while I am here, I can't stop, won't stop until my last breath. And I know that when that happens, there will be many more who take my place because of the work that I've already done. Can someone please ask the author of that article exactly why they failed to mention inalienable, inherent, or God-given rights? Why would they leave that out? Who do they worship? Who do you worship? Please share this video far and wide so I can compete with the magazine for exposure. And make sure and smash that like button. Special thanks to my friends on Facebook. You guys rule, and you know who you are. Peace.